Hello, Aquarius. It's your turn for your June reading. I hope you all are doing well. I want to keep in mind the dates to look out for is June 3rd is a new moon in Gemini, and the 17th of June is a full moon in Sagittarius. So those could affect you in some way if you have either Gemini or Sagittarius in your chart, and in general just affect everyone on, a vast majority of us as collective. And then we are in Mars in Cancer until January or July 1st, and then it's going to go into Leo, and so that could cause a lot of conflicts within home dynamics, situations when it comes to mother and children dynamic. Think of the Cancer as a whole and what does it, evolve around. Very emotional times. So don't be alarmed when things happen within family dynamics and situations like that. All right, I did pre-shuffle the cards and split them in half and stuff. So I am going to read for the theme of your month, the ruin, and that is, or the rune, sorry, Agla's protection, sledge, and rushes and moves. This is about control of emotions during transition periods, changing the course of life, and accelerated self-change. It is important not to rush into emotions, either positive or negative. Remember that early action and right conduct are the only real protection. No matter whether your business flourish or fades, don't worry. Maybe you don't win, but you will never lose, because you will always learn from what has happened. Moderation and civility are the strengths of the protective forces of this ruin. Alright, so that is pretty much your theme, which I'm feeling like this month may be emotional for some of you. It already has been. I mean, we're not into June yet, but basically, as a whole, a lot of you are going through great transformation, a lot of things happening in dynamics and situations. But let's get into your reading for the month of June. Try to make sure I see the cards, because I noticed in my few other videos it's not really directing in the pictures of my cards, so hopefully you can see it clearly. Try to get it more in the caption. I don't have an actual camera, just my phone, so I'm more of the natural base type of readers out there. I really would like to be more sufficient and stuff when it comes to things like that, but I have to do the best I can with what I got. I know some people were complaining about me not having light and stuff in my videos, but I just got to do the best I can with what I got. Sometimes it doesn't have to be perfect. It's not out to be a perfectionist here. Alright, so hopefully you can see it all. Give it a minute to read into the cards. I don't know, I was thinking the whole New World song for some reason. Just don't know why. Have a whole new world. Alright, coming in with a Page of Cups in reverse. This is the card of Pisces. It's also a small offer being given to you or another person, but with it in reverse, unexpected changes may happen, surprises. But with it being in reverse, don't be surprised when things happen. Don't be surprised, if maybe a love interest comes in the picture, or maybe you're waiting on someone. Possibly, maybe this Pisces, you're waiting on something, waiting on surprises, waiting on things to come full circle. That's what I'm getting with that. And then the Hierophant in reverse. This is about foundations, institutions, structures. It is a card of marriage. Maybe you're waiting on someone to propose. I don't know why I got that. Maybe you are waiting on love to come find you. Maybe you are in a love connection with someone, but you're just waiting for things to come full circle with them. Um, Maybe you have your eye on someone and you're waiting for things to come together. And if you are in a relationship, waiting for something, I feel like, waiting on something. And then the Empress. This is like the mother card. You could possibly, I know one of my friends, they're dealing with something that has to do with their mother at this time. So don't be alarmed when things happen within the family dynamic. I know that's kind of shocking, but with Mars and Cancers, things are going to be, brought to the surface, brought to awareness when it comes to family dynamics, situations in the home. So don't be surprised. But also to the Empress card in general, I feel like when it comes to, maybe a mother, maybe you're dealing with a mother figure, or you're just becoming a mother maybe. But pretty much, the whole atmosphere I'm feeling is motherly, nurturing. Maybe you're waiting full circle when it comes to maybe a dynamic in the home situation with maybe the divine. Maybe you are a woman who, you're trying to become everything you are in your essence. I don't know, that can mean many different things. But I'm feeling it has to do with mother, surprises, unknown things. Then you have the Six of Wands. So that's about victory. That's about accomplishments. That's about getting what you deserve. That's also about being recognized. Maybe all the work you're being put in to something. Maybe it's in, some type of foundation or structure, a home or something. Maybe you're being recognized for everything that you've been doing thus far. It could also be a job indication. Maybe you're getting a raise. Maybe you're getting something, you've been working hard towards, or just a surprise of some sort when it comes to that. And then the Emperor in reverse. So this is a card of Aries. Also, I think someone recently said it's a Uranus too. I'm feeling it's more about control. Maybe not having control when it comes to being recognized, when it comes to things that you've been working hard for in some way or another. And then you have the Queen of Swords. This is pretty much Aquarius, Libra, Gemini energy, air sign in general. Speaking your truth. Maybe control on how you speak is the message here with the Emperor right here. Be very careful, and I know Gemini had this too. Be very careful when it comes to speaking your truth, when it comes how you speak. Becoming too emotionally involved in something, because it's easy to get attached or identify when we don't feel control in how our emotions are when it comes to speaking up. So do be careful with that. And then you have the Five of Swords. So this is cutting out things that don't serve your highest good, especially when it comes to your energy, when it comes to dealing with other people. Make sure when you're speaking in a group setting that you're coming across honest, sincere. You don't want to be argumentative, because I know a lot of you Aquarius, you know a lot of facts, a lot of things, and a lot of what you go as is what you know. But sometimes when you know too much, I'm not saying this as a bad thing, when you know too much and you literally speak your mind, you just got to be careful when you're dealing with people, not to be cutting with your words, not to be overbearing, not to be argumentative, because you guys like to get in arguments sometimes. I know me in general, I can get like that. But make sure you're willing to, you know, really analyze how you're speaking. You know, are you coming from a place of honesty but not too harsh? Or are you coming from a very emotional, ego-centered, where you just want people to know how you feel, but you don't care who gets hurt? And I feel like some of you've gotten to that, where you just do what you want, but you don't really see the outcome, how it can affect people. But also too, I feel like that's for some of you, not all. This is a general reading. Just be careful when it comes to things that solely are dependent on how you speak. And a lot of you could be questioning, how do you come across in this world when it comes to speaking your truth? But also too, you need to look at, you know, what's okay, what's not okay, especially when it comes to the power struggle, when it comes to the ego, when it comes to the mind. You know, how can you really speak your truth authentically that is best for you, most importantly? And then you have the Knight of Wands. This is the Sagittarius card, you know, in and out energy, but I feel like, you know, how to move forward on passions. Because I feel like if something's not working for you in some way, you know, it's time to look at what is working, especially when it comes to your passions, to fully come into your own and fully, you know, be your authentic self. And I think some of you, not all of you, haven't really, you know, been authentic, because you're, you know, maybe you're too afraid to be vulnerable because you've been hurt before. I know Cancers have been going through that too, but, you know, just speaking from an honest place, I feel like it's important to know for yourself at the end of the day, when you look at how you perceive yourself out in the world, how are you coming across? Are you being your authentic self? And especially when it comes to your passions, you know, how do you see yourself authentically? Because I feel like there's more respect for people when they are authentic. You know, a lot of people aren't going to agree with your authenticity, but at least you're honest with yourself. And I think that's something, maybe a power struggle some of you have been dealing with, is, you know, how do you present, or how do you approach the world as your authentic self? You know, being true to yourself foremost, but also to, you know, being honest and open with others without being cutting with your words. And then you have the Tower. The Tower is all about transformation. It's a part of Uranus. It's also about upgrades. This could indicate, you know, you're really going through a transformation period, maybe possibly in June, or you have been on this journey, per se, of being more enlightened, of being more, letting your abilities come to life. And I feel like with the Tower, it could indicate, you know, being fully aware of things that don't work in your life, fully aware of situations, places, people that don't work. And I think you've really got into, you know, a better understanding of that. But sometimes, you know, we have to go through this, you know, Tower moment of reevaluating our lives and upgrading things. You know, it's like, what's the point of driving a vehicle that doesn't work? Like, there's so many problems with it, and sometimes we just need to upgrade it. Sometimes we, you know, need to clear the old energies to get something better. And so I feel like the Tower card is asking, you know, an upgrade in your life in some form of dynamic, you know. of how you perceive yourself, of how you perceive the world. And then, this also could be health problems too, because I notice, with Taurus energy, a lot of you have been, some of you have been having some health issues, and, you're drained, you're depleted at the end of the day, and some of you really need to own up in, upgrading your health, because a lot of Taurus energy is about grounding too with Uranus, so that could be an indication, take things more serious in your life when it comes to your health, when it comes to how you think, when it comes to everything that you really want in the long run that can benefit you as a person, and how to present yourself more improving. And then you have the Nine of Pentacles. So this is pretty much the independent card. I have been seeing a lot of birds. I always think the Queen of Pentacles, but it's the Nine of Pentacles, sorry. It's in reverse, so I feel like you have to be very careful, especially when it comes to people and the energies that they're presenting you, to really give back to yourself. Maybe that is the reason this tower is being brought up, is to show you things that you need to work on to, become a better person in society. When it comes to, your finances, maybe there could be some shifts happening in your finances dynamic. And then you have the Nine of Swords. So I always look at this card as someone who is in a state of mind where they feel like worries are getting to them, anxiety, fears, maybe feeling like you can't trust anyone, maybe feeling like the mind is like things are getting to you, but I just feel like it's a part of me that says that this is about releasing things that no longer are serving your highest good, especially with the Tower being right here, and then the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. It's time to, reevaluate what is not working in your life, and be honest, and be willing to let go of things that aren't serving you, instead of, isolating yourself. And I don't mean this in a bad way, but I think a lot of Aquarius, they have to go with inside. They have to isolate sometimes from the world so they can, better serve the world. And I feel like, the Nine of Swords is talking about, take some moments in time, give yourself time to heal, give yourself time to process things, and evaluate what is working in your life and what isn't working, what is getting you stuck when it comes to, negative thoughts or patterns or things that are keeping you isolated or keeping you up at night. I feel like once you let those things go, once you let those fears, anxieties, worries go, you can fully be in your best state of mind. You can fully, shine to the fullest. But I feel like when anxiety or even depression gets to you, it makes you want to cut off from everything in the world. But I just feel like there's a lot of healing that still needs to be taking place when it comes to these anxieties and letting go things that aren't working. And then you have the Eight of Cups. So yeah, I feel like you're going to do that this month, is really, manage your energy, manage your the things you value in your life, and really look at it from a different angle in what's working and what's not working, especially when it comes to your health. And I think some of you haven't been very serious, it's easy to get lost in the everyday mundane things of, I want to present myself into the world, I want to, help people, encourage people, be of assistant in some way. But if you lose yourself in the process of it in some way, then it can be a challenge. It can be a difficulty really being your authentic self when you're halfway depleted or halfway, your energy is shot in some way. And I just feel like, if you don't take something seriously, especially when it comes to, self-care, self-love, really stepping into this feminine energy in some way. And like if you're an Aquarius male, you can ultimately take that energy and give to yourself in some way, whether it's, relaxing and trying to not overwork yourself, because it's easy to, always want to work, always want to give to people because you're a very giving person. But also at the end of the day, you don't want to feel like you're over giving, in some way. This is about walking away, but maybe it's about walking away from old patterns that aren't working in your life, where you, at the end of the day, you want to walk away from something, or you want to walk away from a commitment. But ultimately, I feel like the message here for this month is, don't get caught up in overworking yourself, but be willing to look at things from a balance, Anyways, I hope that resonates with one of you. Bye-bye.